Hello, I'm Evan here. Um, in this case, I'm gonna try to get right into it. Just so you can decide whether you want to stay and watch the video right now or not, or just in general. Um, this video is going to be like more about like music production lessons as well as like art and like philosophy, just like art in general. Just like with an emphasis on like music in this case, but like a lot of the concepts there are applicable to a bunch of different things. Let's get right into it, shall we? It helps me to believe that there's no such thing as a trash beat. There is, however, such a thing as a lack of imagination, though. Now, those, oh, also a lack of self belief and self worth. Now, those are things I can work with. Um, Now listen, if any of those are you, I don't blame you. I just straight up point blank don't blame you. Um, in the sense that like there's obviously a level of discernment that comes with beat making, that comes with creating art that is good, as subjective as that may sound. But I think far too many people use it to the point to where they shoot themselves in the foot, trying to make something work for money alone or for clout or for recognition predominantly. Even if it's not the only thing, like if you make it the primary thing, I feel like that introduces like large and ultimately unintended opportunities or unwanted opportunities for things to just get skewed in a way that serves as a barrier to people trying to for people for you trying to communicate with your artistry, or for us trying to communicate with our artistry in the way that we want to ultimately. um so in light of that, I try to make creative work my goal. uh, Not the money itself. I think of money as a vessel for the energy of value, like in the sense that money can be printed, money can be injected into a digital financial system. It can be, and it can also be extracted out of a digital financial system. And if money is printed, it can also be burned. And if it's made in a change, it can be melted into its primary like metals. It's more so currency. I feel I feel as though it's much more of a vessel for value, and value itself, it can't be destroyed. If you burn a dollar, um, like it doesn't mean that your house is worth $1 less. It does, if you were to put a price tag on it. Um, like in that sense, the value of physical thing, it can never really be destroyed. It can only transform, because it's like, for instance, this house that I'm in right now, this is my childhood bedroom. Essentially like 4 centuries ago, this was completely indigenous land. No houses, no subdivision, no any of that stuff. Like we call it Texas now, but this wasn't. I'm like this wasn't Texas as we know it, like 400 years ago, or even like 250 years ago. Um, it was different, and so the thing is that um, but fast forward to like 1998, and then all the way to like 2024, like you have like this house here, And basically, like essentially, like on paper and in like a governmental and in a legal sense, the value of the land that this house was built on went up as soon as the house was built here. And it continues to go up as we implement different things to as we implement different things to um to increase the value of the house. Um, yeah. So that being said, um, all the building materials and such, and all the different things that would end up creating the house, all that stuff came from Earth. And so the thing is that like a tree or the pebbles that make a brick, or the pebbles in water that make cement, essentially they are of a certain value when they're of those like fundamental materials. But once you make them into a house, oh, I'm sorry about the mic thing. If that bothered you, like people, my headphones and my earphone people. But yeah, um, the thing is that before that happened, or the thing is that before that, I'm sorry, I'm still I'm still recovering from an eye infection. And sometimes my eyes get a little irritated and they start watering, but it's not. Uh, uh, but bear in mind, I'm not crying. I don't. Not that there's anything wrong with crying. I just don't happen to have like a proper like reason that's inciting me to cry tears of sorrow or joy. It's just that my eyes are trying to kick this infection. So either way, um, yeah. So the thing is that like the pebbles and the water that make up the brick and the mortar and the trees that make up the wood and the structural members that make up my house. The thing is that like those had a certain value before they were made into the house, but once they were made into the house, the value went way up. Um, but the thing is that it's not like any like proper value was like added to the land like from some force outside of the earth. All this came from within the atmosphere. And so it's like that's what I mean whenever I say value can't really be destroyed, it can only transform into different things. So tree turns into wooden structural member for a house, and then and basically like that tree hey, and basically that wood suddenly becomes a lot more valuable on that piece of land. However, I don't mean to dwell too much on the value thing, because I started writing down some notes and like portions of a script for here, but I didn't quite finish, and I didn't realize that I didn't like finish all my different thoughts. And so the rest of the video is actually going to be me spitballing, um, like not like spitballing, but more so it's just going to be a bit more extemporaneous. In the sense that I have general ideas of what I want to talk about. It's just more so that it's going to be unscripted. And again, I told y'all like before that these videos are going to be uh, mostly unedited, um, if edited at all. Um, I'm certainly unscripted. No, 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 certainly unfiltered. And direct. I want you to feel like you're just in the room, talking with me, and I'm just sharing all my thoughts with you. Because again, it's like people say that a lot of autistic people are like blunt and like and brutally honest, as I've been called. But the thing is that I don't personally see myself that way. I think that the better word to use for that is just that I'm a very direct person. I go for exactly what I want. And right now, I wish or I want to speak with you about the fact that any of your art that you make, like the thing is that like it doesn't matter what you make, it doesn't matter what sort of thing you're dishing out. Somebody in the world is going to love that because it was Alan, it was the philosopher slash new thought leader slash a bunch of slash author slash a bunch of different other things. Alan Watts, who said, someone's interested in everything and anything that you're interested in, anything that you create, eh, and anything that you're interested in, you'll find others who are also interested in it. Um, and that applies here in the sense that anything that you can create, you'll find someone who actually likes it. In the sense that a lot of people, they like heavily edited videos, but it's like I've been gaining subscribers and getting comments from people, and like really connecting with people online, like from these YouTube videos where I'm just pressing record on my camera, my phone, Tenzin, like sitting in my favorite chair and just speaking with y'all. Um, and so, yeah, all that to say, um, I'm actually it was Ant, it was Ant Chamberlain. I saw a recent video of his, like I think it was like 3 weeks ago or something. Um, and in case you're watching this in the future, it's basically like mid-July 2024 if you're watching this in like whatever year or whatever planet you're watching it on. Space travel for the win. If this gets to somebody, that means that we did it. Either way, yeah. So that being said, the thing is that like Ant Chamberlain actually put the battery in my. He helped me to put the battery back into my back to keep working at a lot of the like really interesting experimental stuff I've been working on, like with my next mixtape. I'm not ready to give the name out to everybody yet, especially considering this is going online. I'm not ready to give the name out, but I have been working on my fourth mixtape like lately, and like I don't think it's anywhere close to being ready to be out, but like there are some really interesting things that I've been doing and experimenting with, that like I can't wait for y'all to see, but it's like there has to be a time. I don't want to like it's not my intent to give y'all like a half baked thing like for me. Like the thing is that like again, like I'm not really thinking of it as like a good or a bad thing. I'm more so thinking of it in terms of like how excellent do I want this project to be? How excellent do I want this song to be? Eh, this painting, this drawing, this thought map. um, exactly what do you want it to be? Like, what do? But the thing I ask myself is like, how excellent do you want this piece of, eh, or how excellent do you want this creation to be? And and really, what I end up and really the thing is that like my mixtape like that I'm working on, like it's reached a level of excellence to where it would actually be a pretty interesting project if I just put it out exactly how it is now, but it wouldn't be as excellent as I would want it to be. It's sort of like perfectly incomplete right now. It's got some really amazing high points, but like there's other stuff that I want to share with it. But at the same time, I think the thing is that I think that we should be searching for excellence, but more so our compass upon what excellence is, like should come or is to us. It should come from us. Like it should come from an intrinsic like place, as opposed to being like, oh, it's like this type beat. Like it won't really it won't really tie in with all the Drake fans. But the thing is, though, like, what if there's people who like the thing that you actually are making that's not necessarily like a Drake type beat, which again is based on comparison, and that's a whole other video. The whole Actually, let me know if you want to hear a video. If you want to hear about a video, like that's on like type beat culture and like my different thoughts on it and how really like shocking it is to me for like for a lot of reasons for a number of reasons I invite you to let me know down in the comments if you want to know like my thoughts on like type beat culture and different things like that. But the thing is that like people could like the stuff that you're from dishing out. Like you could be making. It's like I was saying. It's like you could be. It's like saying you could be making like or rather you could be trying to make like a Drake type beat, um, but the thing that you end up creating and putting out, it doesn't end. eh, and but the eh, and but the thing that you've created once you're ready to put it out, it doesn't feel like it's a Drake type beat. But like if you put it under Drake type beat, like essentially like what might happen is that like is that you end up limiting yourself like from people hearing like that beat, because if people type in Drake type beat, then potentially yours might pop up somewhere if they really look for it, or if it's up at the top either or anywhere in between. If they find it on the Drake type beat, I'm sure it'll be cool. But like what if they're not looking for Drake type beats and your beat pops up under Drake type beats and it doesn't pop up where they're looking? And say for instance this is a person who really like, who if they whom if they heard your beat, they would really, 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 really like it, and they just like turn it into something huge, and you both really benefit from it. If you pigeonhole yourself, and if you pigeonhole yourself, or if you like put your beat down, which like I sort of think of as like putting a portion of yourself down, um, and the thing is that like the thing is like at the end of the day, the main takeaway I want you to know is that like at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a trash beat because someone's interested in everything. That's really the main point I want to convey to you, and to convey to you for you. And so it's like anything that you make, like record as much stuff as you can, of the stuff that you create. And the thing is that like somebody's going to like it, and it may take some time, but the thing is that to quote Jay-Z, it's only two things that gonna get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence. And so, um, and also just like understanding that at some point somebody's gonna like your stuff, and like people like consistency too. And if you can make something, and if you can and make a bunch of cool stuff that the common person might think like, oh, that's weird, but that you really love doing. Like I've kind of been doing like as I've gotten into beat making, I've been making like a lot of these like sort of like electronic hip hop sort of beats, or as I'm calling it, synth hop. Um, uh, and I'm gonna start sharing those more and more as time goes on. But that being said, like I just want, but that being said, I just want to let you know. It's been a long day, and also I've just kind of been tired all day. It's been a very draining day. That too. Um, but yeah, that being said, at the end of the day, um at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, there's going to be someone out there who likes exactly what you're dishing out as an artist, whether it be a painting or a painting style, whether it be a book or a poem or a poetry collection, or or a beat or a song or an a cappella thing or a video, a movie, any of that stuff. It's again, it's like this. The thing is, though, it's like I understand. I'm able to speak on a bunch of different art disciplines because like I'm interested in a bunch of different ones, and I even practice in several of the ones that I'm interested in. And people and I've even been told that I'm like exceptionally good at many of them, like a visionary even. Um, that being said, I really hope that you've gotten this point. So just like keep working on that weird thing that you think like, oh snap, this is whack, this is trash. It's like the thing is like if you're able to stick with it and bring it to a space of excellence and just like understand that even if you like come back to it later, the thing is you can always do you can always do that. In fact, there's a song off my third album that I've actually been wanting to revisit since I've created it because I'm just like I didn't say enough in that song, but like I wanted to say so much more, but it's like I wanted the but it's like I also wanted the album to be a certain length, and so it just turned into something that was just like, huh, what should I do? And so I was just like, okay, like in order to like make the album a specific length that I wanted, let's put in this short version, and then let's make a duplicate project of it, and then from that project flesh it out and turn it into what I want it turned into. And so yeah, essentially that's basically it. So keep working on that weird thing. Keep doing your thing. Um, and understand that somebody out there is going to like it. And the best way to find the people who are going to like it is to put it out in as many places as you can. That's why that's why I did like DistroKid, because I don't want just my stuff on the thing is, I didn't just want my stuff on SoundCloud and YouTube. I wanted it to be everywhere. I wanted any person in the world, if they wanted to hear my song, if they wanted to hear my album, if they wanted to hear my mix, if they wanted to hear any of my music, I just wanted them to have it. I just wanted to give my world to them. And so at the end of the day, um, yeah, just keep making what you want. And if you find that you sort of like hit a wall with it and like it's starting to get a little difficult to like do it in the way that like your heart is calling you to do it, then just like pause, take a second, and come back to it. I don't care if it's the next day or the next decade. Just keep all your stuff and just come back to it whenever you can, and just keep working on it until you get it to a state of excellence. And sometimes you actually get to that state of excellence like pretty quickly. And so it's like you don't have to necessarily hold yourself. It's like, oh, I didn't take long enough on this beat. I didn't take long enough on this painting. It's like there are paintings that people made in like less than 60 seconds that sold for millions of dollars. So and there are songs that people spent 6 years on, like like myself included. Um, um, that 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 did well. But that being said, it's just like the thing. I say all that to say that like it doesn't necessarily always have to take as long as you might have been led to believe that it takes. Like sometimes, like uh, uh, with some of the electronic hip hop, with some of the synth pop beats I've been making, I found that I found that I found that with my synthesizer, I found that with my synthesizer Ty. I'm not sure if you can see him. Um, 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 in my MIDI controller Claire, I found that like I've been able to make beats on them for like in like 90 minutes from start to finish, and that's what taking my time on the drums and just sort of like sequencing it just like normally, and then it's like I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. I just kept getting faster and faster at it, and so now it's just like, oh dang, I can really do this. Okay, cool. Anyways, um, this video is probably super duper long, but either way, I really hope that you've gotten a lot out of it. In fact, I actually don't necessarily want to hope if I don't have to, and so I'll let you know this. I want to let. If you feel called to, I invite you to let me know in a comment any and all of your thoughts, as few or as little as you have or are comfortable with sharing with me, slash sharing with anyone else who might read them. But also understand that I try to create safe spaces in my videos and on my channel, and so it's like I want people to feel as though they can be honest, like in the comment sections. And if someone tries to put somebody else down, then I like to think that essentially someone's going to like stand up for that person, and just try to make things better, and just try to elicit a state of harmony and peace, which is something that's really been in short supply the past several centuries of human history. Yeah, so all that to say, like here's the reason I'm asking. Hey, here's the reason I'm inviting you to drop comments. It's more so because, or it's mostly because I'm autistic, and part of what that means is that I'm mind blind, which means that um, I'm effectively incapable of reading people's minds and understanding what people are trying to tell me. Um, like unless they tell me in some sort of like direct and like plain way, and like written text is one of those ways, and so that's why I invite people to comment, if they feel called to, if you feel comfortable, like if and again, it could be as simple as a hi. I will respond to a hi, like I kid you not, I will respond to a hi. I'll say hey man, or hey girl, or just hello friend, just like I'll do all that. And so at the moment I'm kind of behind on responding to comments. However, the thing is that like every comment will get some sort of response. And so yeah, all that to say, um just just make whatever you want, friend. Just just do whatever you feel called to in your heart. Just do what you love. Do what your feelings are compelling you to do. Um, or guiding you to do, rather, because you don't necessarily have to follow them, like per se, but like if you do decide to let your feelings be your guide, then it brings you to a lot of magical places, and oftentimes a lot quicker than you might expect. Now, with all that said, I love you. I think you're awesome. And oh wait, also, I am so glad that you exist here among us today. Doesn't matter when you're watching the video. I simply love that you're like here. Because like if you're here, then that means that on some level you're alive. And so I'm just glad that you exist among us, and I'll see you soon. Bye.